Good morning, this is Mona and this is my morning view. Today, summer edition 2025. We have transitioned into summer and today I have heard that it might get up to 100 degrees. I don't know, or it might be, it feels like 100, but summer is starting to kick in. All right, today is Memory Monday. Memory Monday. And if I could remember a thought, it would be awesome. So today I'm starting to walk again. And that doesn't mean I was crippled before. That means that I'm actually exercising again. So I need to do weight-bearing exercise. And I was told an elliptical is not a weight-bearing exercise. That's why it's better for the knees than like a treadmill. However, when you have to do weight-bearing exercises, the elliptical is fine for maybe some cardio or just moving your joints, getting used to that. But I have not walked in over a year. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't walked. I have an outside job where I walk around, okay? I'm on my feet practically the whole day. So, I walk around, but I don't walk for exercise sake. And I haven't done that in over a year. And the reason why I haven't done it in over a year is because last April, not this past April, but I injured my leg. My leg was swollen for over 3 months. It still hurt, even though it wasn't noticeably swollen anymore. So that whole time, I was not walking. That brought us into the fall months, where my knee was still hurting a little bit. So it was like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to hold out until the pain is better on this. And then the weather started to go bad. It started to rain a lot, and the rain in New Jersey is cold. It's not like those North Carolina rains where you can walk in the rain and dance, and it feels like a nice warm shower. No, New Jersey rains, no matter what time of year it is, cold rain that just penetrates the joints. So it became snowy and icy out. A lot of ice. Can't walk on ice. If you've ever seen me walk on ice, it looks like the Keystone Cops. Not a pretty sight. And then I'm live until I take 2 steps, and then I'm in and out of service. I was kind of told that I was going to be able to have service all the way up to the end of the road. Didn't quite happen. So I'm back on now, so we'll go with that. All right. So where was I? I was talking about the spring came. The spring came after, the winter ice and snow that you couldn't really walk on the road during that time. Like I said, especially after I've had a leg injury, I didn't want to re-injure anything. So spring came and I'm like, okay, good weather's coming. I'll do the walking thing again. Everything will be great. And then they decided to pave the road. They've been talking about paving this road that I know of for at least 7 years. Maybe 8 that I know of. Now I found out that they were talking about paving this road like 20 years ago. Didn't know that. So they finally got around to paving the road. And yeah, I got a junk call coming in, which reminds me I need to call them. later. All right. So I couldn't do the walk when they're out here paving, when they're out here prepping the road. Oh, there's a silence. Silent car. At least when it was a gravel road, you could hear the traffic coming up behind you. Good morning. I'm in the middle of my morning view.
How is it?
Huh?
How is it?
I don't know. I'll tell you when I'm done. All right. So happiness. They were paving, so I couldn't come out and do my walk. And I'm not gonna wear workout gear and good shoes. See, today, I gotta show you. I'm wearing brand new shoes. Right there. Oh. It wouldn't let me rotate my phone. Let's try it again. Can you see where my shoe is? There it is. Brand new shoes. I've had them for months because I was wearing my old cruddy shoes for the walk that has holes in them. You can see my socks through the mesh, you know. It's one of those things that it's one of those things where you don't want to get rid of your old stuff because it's still usable. But how good is it for you? You know? How good is it for you? You've got these brand new shoes in the closet, but you don't want to muck them up. And you got these old cruddy shoes that are probably 10 years old, and you just don't want to get rid of them. And they take up space. And then for a whole year, I didn't use them. How good are they for your foot? Right? You get an old pair of shoes. Now, there was a purpose for them when it was not paved, when the road was not paved. So I'm remembering when it was a nice dirt road. It was a gravel road. It was never a dirt road that I lived here, but it was a gravel road. I grew up on a dirt road. So dirt roads don't bother me. But while it was a graveled dirt road, when it was wet out, and my shoes would get pretty muddy. And sometimes I'd step in ruts and come close to twisting my ankle, and you know. And now it's a smooth paved road. A lot hotter than it used to be because now you have this black tarred road. Ooh, I lost internet right in front of my house. Then that is ridiculous. All right, so this paved road, this tarred road, it's black. It's the sun's beating down and just heating up the area. And that's kind of where part of, like, quote, global warming is a part of. We tear down the trees, which provide shade and moisture and a coolness to the area. And we put up, you know, the phrase tearing down paradise is. And that's why cities tend to be hot and yucky and bleh, you know. And in the country, you're cool, you're refreshed, you have trees. All right, so oh, there we are. We're back. Had to get to the very top of the hill in order to get my internet back. All right, so where was I when my internet went out? I was talking about the heat off of the pavement. So there's that. But there's some benefits to it as well. I mean, we can ride down the road without our cars being torn apart and losing our mufflers or our bumpers. I remember seeing one person hit a pothole one time in the dirt road, in the gravel road, and they dragged their, I think it was their muffler all the way up the road. So even our new vehicles, we weren't going to get new vehicles before the pavement went, but our old vehicles went. They decided they were no longer going to do what they had to do because they were tired. And so we had to get a couple of new vehicles. And in that process, we got it while the road was still a dirt road. And now there's parts of it that have, rattled loose. And so those need to be fixed. On new vehicles, they need to be fixed because that old road was not good for the vehicle. It will cut down on dust in the house. It'll cut down on dust in the car, in the filter, the air filter of the vehicle. So there's advantages to not having this dirt road and having this paved road. I would have been quite happy with it staying graveled, but I'm not, upset that it's paved. So, that it didn't bother me one way or the other. My husband, coming from Bergen County, wanted it paved from day one when he turned down this road to look at a house for sale and went, oh my God, it's a dirt road. And I said, maybe it's not that far. Like when I was a kid, after miles of driving down the dirt road, it looked like it was the end of the dirt road, but she had another like half a mile in that she had to travel on what was called a goat trail. So there's that. Now those were rough dirt roads. The dirt road that I lived on, there was a section that was like they had gully washers going through. I never saw that in this road. Before the town took it over, we used to fill it in ourselves. There would be gravel dumped and we would fill in the holes as a community. And that's how we got to know everybody that lived on the block, because we all worked on the road together. But we haven't done that in years, and so there's a lot of people on the road that I don't know anymore. People have moved away, and new people have moved in. And I know them, like I see them wave every now and then. Touch with people, because when we don't have community, we don't know what's going on in people's lives. And when we don't know what's going on in people's lives, we don't have compassion or empathy or any of that. I'm back. It looks like the tops of the road is where I get the internet. The valley is not where I get it. All right, so those are those times when you really hear the Lord. Oh, I'm having a mountaintop experience. Oh, and when you're in the valley, you're like, I can't hear the Lord. He's still talking to you. So what was I saying before I lost the internet again? About community. You lose out on community when you're not doing things together. And so I know our church is all about trying to build community, trying to have people to interact with those people that are around us on a daily basis, or like our neighbors. You don't see them on a daily basis, but there was a sink fell into the middle of the road. Ta-da! There's a sink. Even on a paved road, you get distractions. All right, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about the old and the new. We're talking about that space where we work together as community to where we don't have to do that anymore. So we've drifted away from that. We've talked about old shoes. Letting go of the old to embrace the new. So I am going to be throwing out my 2 pairs of cruddy tennis shoes. Embrace the new tennis shoes that I have on to walk on the new road. The new road. And be intentional about community. Because before it wasn't intentional, it was just something that happened because there was a need that had to take place. We needed to fill the holes in the road in order to drive down them. And so therefore, we all got together and we filled the holes. And we built community by doing that. But then when we no longer had to do that, we all kind of just became a wave-by community. Wave as you're passing by in the automobile. And so community has been lost. And it's not just my neighborhood. It's all across the United States. Maybe even the world. I don't know, because I don't live in Germany anymore. So what do we get out of this Memory Monday? To me, it's letting go of those old things that don't serve us to anymore. My automobile, my old shoes, the old way of life where you were in community out of necessity, and now you embrace the new for what it is. Yeah, there might be some cons in the new, because not everything, it's a fallen world, not everything is perfect. So there's things that are not perfect in the paved road. They're not perfect in the automobiles. They're not perfect in these shoes. I have to get used to them. They're the first time I'm wearing them, and so, they feel a little tight. There's things that have to be worked out and make them moldable. So that's where Memory Monday is today. Letting go of the old, embracing the new. You didn't believe me about the sink, did you? Just in case. There is a sink. In the middle of the road. It's not in the middle. It's on the side. But still, it must have fallen over because it was up against the garbage cans the first time I walked by. So anyways, don't hold on to those old shoes. They're not good for your feet. Don't hold on. Remember, I'm not talking about shoes. I'm not talking about automobiles. I'm not even talking about dirt versus paved roads. I'm talking about those spiritual things, those things that you keep inside, those emotional things that keep your spirit down, all those things that arise up inside of you when triggered. It's time to stop causing ourselves more harm than good because we want to hold on to things that no longer serve us. I have an automobile over there with no brakes. What would happen if I decided I was going to take this car off of this mountain on its own, with its own understanding, right? It would not end well. But if we insist that we're going to do it our way, and we insist that we're going to hold on to all those old patterns of life and those old systems of how we do things, to include community out of necessity versus out of proactiveness, out of intentionalness. Well, it does us more harm than good. So that's where I'm leaving you with today. And blessings. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow for Tips Tuesday. Thank you, Debbie, for watching. If you have not been to my YouTube page, when this is done, hop on over to YouTube and go to Mona E. Harrison. Mona E. Harrison is different than my Facebook profile. So Mona E. Harrison, you'll see my wisdom here, my beautiful face. And when you see that, you know you're in the right spot. Go ahead and hit subscribe. The button is like right about there. Hit subscribe. Hit notifications. Get all the bells and whistles. Comment. Share. Here on Facebook, comment, share, like, on both platforms. It helps the algorithm. I'm looking for subscriptions only because I need to have at least 50 subscriptions in order to have more than 3 minutes there. So you basically get a 3-minute version with an ad, as in my ad telling you to subscribe, and then this video will be uploaded either tonight or tomorrow. But in the meantime, after you go over there after this video and subscribe, go ahead and peruse some of the other videos that are already been uploaded, because we've been uploading since, I believe, around March or April. So we have several months of content. And in that process, come back tonight or tomorrow to watch the version that's here. Now, if you've been here and you've watched the version that's here, that's cool. You don't have to rewatch it unless you want to, and you want to take notes, or you want to decide whether you're going to share it. When you go to YouTube, the thing of it is here on Facebook, you just have to watch it. But when you go to YouTube, they actually have the ability to watch it in fast speed. You can totally watch it in fast speed while you're doing the chores, while you're doing the dishes, while you're gardening, while you're walking. You don't have to sit there and watch a screen. Anytime you don't have to sit there and watch a screen, you can listen to it on fast speed. So that's where I'm leaving you with today. See you tomorrow for Tips Tuesday. Bye.